Have you ever been in a meeting and someone's had an idea or a suggestion that you completely disagree with? What did you say?
That is without a doubt the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You are a fucking idiot.
You definitely don't want to say that. Welcome to the channel where you learn the business English skills you need to succeed. In today's class, we're going to be learning a strategy that you can use to disagree with people politely in English. Often when there's hierarchies or egos involved, it can be difficult to say, I disagree with you, especially if the person making the suggestion or has the idea is either your boss or someone senior in the organization. You may also find yourself in a situation where the person wants to win an argument rather than listen to your suggestion. One strategy we could use is what Melanie Hobson used. So Melanie Hobson is the former chair of Starbucks, but she's been involved in many other famous American companies. And one of the best pieces of advice she received was this.
That the best way to get information that you need and or help someone to come to a different point of view was not to pound them and push them and barrage them or berate them, but to ask them a series of questions that would help them find the way to maybe the place you were trying to get them.
So we can do the same thing. We can ask a series of questions and try and direct the person to see our perspective without using the words, I disagree. So let's imagine the scenario where the CEO of your company says, we're going to reduce the number of employees by 10% to save costs. So your initial reaction is to say, I disagree, but because we're going to disagree politely, we're going to ask him a series of questions to see our perspective. I would then write a list of the reasons why I disagree with that idea. Once I had my reasons of why I disagree, then I would start to create my questions. One way I could start one of these questions would be to say, have we thought about? So for example, have we thought about the costs related to the severance payments? These severance payments might be higher than the 10% we're trying to save. You could also say, how would we deal with? For example, how would we deal with the workload of the people leaving? Who would do their work? Tone is also very important here. Do you notice with each of the questions, I'm not using the word you, I'm using the word we. When we use we, it's more collaborative and less likely to be confrontational, resulting in a more constructive conversation. Another option would be, what would we do? What will we do if employee morale starts to deteriorate and affects our results? Another question could be, what would happen if? What would happen if the additional workload meant that other employees started to leave? What would be the effect of that? And lastly, I'm worried about any new opportunities for revenue. We wouldn't be able to pursue them because we don't have enough people. In that scenario, the CEO may change their mind based on the questions you've asked or change your mind based off their answers. In my experience, this is a great strategy to disagree with someone, particularly if that person is more senior than what you are, as it creates a more constructive, collaborative discussion rather than an argument. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please hit the like and the subscribe button. Leave a comment as well, because that really helps me grow my channel. Please also share this video with any of your friends that are having a tough time having to accept ridiculous ideas or suggestions in the office.